I always believed love was quiet. Not loud promises, not public shows. Just staying. That was me with Lena. "You're too good for this world," she used to say. I laughed. "I'm just good for you." She smiled at that. Always smiled. That smile convinced me I was safe. I'm Ethan. I don't fall in love easily. When I do, I fall all the way. Lena knew that. She leaned into it. She depended on me, even if she never said the word depend. "Can you stay on the call?" she asked one night. "I'm tired," I said. "I just don't want to be alone." So I stayed. That was our pattern. Whenever she felt empty, I filled the space. Whenever she felt unsure, I became certain for both of us. "You're my calm," she whispered once. "And you're my future," I replied. She didn't answer that time. I ignored it. One evening, we sat in her car outside my apartment. The engine was off. The silence felt comfortable. "Do you ever think about the past?" I asked. She sighed softly. "Sometimes." "Like him?" She rolled her eyes. "Mark. He's nothing now. That's over." I nodded, even though my chest tightened. "You don't need to worry," she added quickly. "You're different." Different felt like a compliment. I didn't ask different from what. Later, my friend Ryan warned me. "She leans on you too much," he said. "That's what partners do," I replied. "Or backups," he muttered. I laughed it off. Lena never called me her boyfriend in public, but she held my hand in private. She never posted me, but she cried on my shoulder. I told myself labels didn't matter. "You trust me, right?" she asked one night. "With everything," I said. She kissed my cheek, not my lips. I told myself she was tired. One afternoon, I surprised her at her place. She wasn't alone. Her phone buzzed on the table. The name lit up the screen. Mark. She grabbed the phone fast. Too fast. "It's work," she said. I didn't argue. I never argued. That night, I asked gently, "Why do you still talk to him?" She looked away. "We have history." "Do you still feel something?" "No," she said. Then softer, "I don't think so." I accepted that answer because I wanted to. Weeks passed. I planned things. Small things. Future things. "We should take a trip," I said. "Maybe," she replied. "Just us." "Let's see." Her answers never landed. They floated. One night, lying beside her, I asked the question that mattered. "Where do you see us going?" She stayed quiet. I could hear her breathing change. "Lena." She traced a circle on the sheet. "I don't know." My throat tightened. "I know." She finally looked at me. "You're safe. You're always there." That wasn't what I asked. "I don't want to pressure you," I said. "I just need to know I'm not alone in this." She swallowed. "I just need time." Time. That word followed her everywhere. My phone buzzed later. A message from Ryan. "Don't make someone a priority when you're just their option." I stared at it, then deleted it. Before leaving, I asked one last thing. "Am I your choice, Lena?" She opened her mouth, closed it, smiled weakly. "I care about you." That pause was short, almost invisible, but something inside me cracked. I walked away telling myself love needs trust. I didn't know I never thought I'd see it. Not like this. Her phone buzzed on the coffee table while she was in the kitchen. I grabbed it without thinking. A name flashed on the screen. Mark. I froze. My heart slammed against my ribs. "Who's that?" I asked before I could stop myself. She came back, drying her hands. "What?" I held up the phone. "Mark. Who is he?" She frowned, like I'd asked the stupidest question ever. My past. That's all." "That's all?" I echoed, my voice tighter than I intended. "You've been messaging him. Every day." She sighed, leaned against the counter. "It's not like I was. I don't know, cheating or anything." "Not like cheating." I laughed bitterly. "You've been pouring your thoughts into him, texting him late at night. Do you think I wouldn't notice? It's complicated, she said. I didn't know how to feel. I was confused. Confused? I shouted. Confused about what? About me. About us. She flinched. Ethan, calm down. You're twisting everything. I didn't mean to hurt you. You didn't mean to hurt me. I repeated, the words tasting sour. Lena, you spent months keeping a part of yourself from me. I thought I was the one. The person you wanted. And all along, I was your backup. Her eyes widened. Backup? Ethan, that's not fair. I just needed options. I was scared, okay? Scared of getting hurt again. So you used me, I whispered, almost to myself. You leaned on me, trusted me, loved me, while keeping your heart ready for someone else. She shook her head. I didn't mean it like that. I swear. I was confused, and I didn't know how to handle feelings. I needed time. I cut her off. Time? Time for what, Lena? Time to toy with my heart. I didn't mean to toy with you, she pleaded. I care about you. I really do. But I was scared. I didn't know how to choose. Choose? My voice cracked. Choose me. Or him. And you thought what? That I'd wait quietly while you decided? Her lips trembled. I didn't know. I wasn't ready to hurt anyone. Not you. Not him. I slammed the phone down. Just what? Just used me as a cushion when things went wrong? Just made sure you had a backup if the past failed? I didn't think of it like that, she shouted, tears forming in her eyes. I was scared, Ethan. I just didn't know what to do. My hands were shaking. My mind felt like it was on fire. Betrayal tasted like metal in my mouth. I had loved her quietly, fully, with everything I had. And I had been a placeholder. A backup plan. I trusted you, I said, my voice low, shaking. I trusted you with everything, Lena. My heart, my time, my life. And you kept your options open. Like I didn't matter. She flinched again. Ethan. I held up a hand. Don't explain. I've heard enough. I need time. I need silence. Her tears rolled down her cheeks. Please don't walk away. I stared at her. I wanted to scream. I wanted to hit something. I wanted to beg her to love me properly. But I didn't. I could feel my own power returning in the quiet refusal. I can't, I said finally. I can't be someone's backup. Her hands reached for me. Ethan, I turned toward the door. Every step felt heavy, but necessary. I could feel her trembling behind me. Her voice broke as she called my name, but I didn't stop. Ethan, wait. I didn't. I walked out into the cool evening air, letting the door close behind me. The sound of it clicking shut echoed in my chest like a final verdict. I walked down the street, letting the wind hit my face. I kept thinking about the messages, the casual intimacy she had shared with him. The I miss you text she thought I'd never see. The late night laughter, the inside jokes, all without me. I could feel anger rising, twisting with humiliation. I had been blind. Foolish. Loyal to a fault. But there was something else underneath, something cold. A clarity I hadn't felt before. I was done being anyone's fallback. I knew, even then, that things would never be the same. Lena would realize it too, sooner or later. She would regret. But that wasn't my problem anymore. The streetlights cast long shadows, but I didn't look back. I didn't even want to. She didn't stop me. She couldn't. She had lost the privilege the moment I saw the truth. For the first time, I felt fully awake. Not in love, not hurt, just aware. And I shut the door behind me and leaned against it, breathing in silence. The apartment felt too big, too empty. My phone buzzed with messages I didn't want to read. I didn't even look. Ethan, you've been MIA all day, Ryan said when he came over. I'm fine, I mumbled, staring at the floor. Fine. He raised an eyebrow. You look like someone hit you with a truck. Come on, talk to me. I don't want to talk, I said, pulling my hoodie tighter around me. Ryan sat on the couch, arms crossed. You're lying to yourself. You're hurting, man. I can see it. I'm not, I snapped. Then softer, I need space. You mean Lena, he said bluntly. Come on, Ethan. Stop pretending. You've been blind. She's not what you think she is. I froze. What do you mean? Look at you. You're destroying yourself loving someone who used you. She leaned on you when she was lonely. That's it. That's all. My chest tightened. I always thought I was helping her. Loving her mattered. I didn't care about being noticed or rewarded. That's the problem, Ryan said, leaning forward. You cared too much. You let yourself be the backup. The word hit me harder than I expected. Backup. I could hear her voice in my mind. All those times she whispered, "You're always here. You're safe." Safe. For her. Not for me. I sank into the couch. I loved her quietly. I gave everything without asking for anything back. And she kept Mark in the background. I ignored the signs. Ryan put a hand on my shoulder. You weren't blind. You were loyal. That's different. But loyalty isn't love if it hurts you like this. I remembered sitting beside her on the porch, watching her scroll her phone. She laughed softly at something, and I had thought it was a joke, a memory. But it wasn't about me. I hadn't mattered then. Not really. I thought about the night she called, lonely and anxious. I stayed up. I held her when she cried. I whispered words she needed, but she never returned the same energy. Never once. I feel weak, I admitted. I loved her too much. I let her lean on me, cry on me, depend on me, and I didn't even see she wasn't mine. Ryan shook his head. Stop blaming yourself. You were human. You cared. That's all anyone can do. She made her choices, not you. I closed my eyes, replaying her soft voice saying, I just need time, and her hesitant smile when I asked if I was a choice. Time. Hesitation. Those were warnings I ignored. I thought, if I loved her enough, if I stayed, she'd see me, I whispered. I thought my love would be enough to fix everything. Ryan didn't answer right away. He just watched me, patient. Sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes it's never enough. You can't make someone choose you if they don't want to. The words stung like ice in my chest. I wanted to scream. I wanted to punch the wall. I wanted her to see me crying and finally understand. But I didn't. I just sat there, letting it burn. My mother called that evening. I didn't answer. She came by anyway. She didn't ask questions. She just sat beside me, hand on mine. Quiet support. That was her way of saying she knew. You're hurting, Ethan, she said softly. I can see it. But you'll be okay. I don't know if I will, I admitted. I thought loving her meant never feeling this way. I thought I'd matter more. You do matter, she said. More than you realize. Loving her wasn't weakness. Staying now, learning from it, that's strength. I looked down at my hands, shaking slightly. She was right, but it didn't make the pain any lighter. I remembered every time I let her lean on me instead of facing her fears alone. Every time I forgave her doubts. Every late-night conversation where I built her up while she ignored my heart. Every message, every touch, every whisper, I had given it all. And now, all that love had only taught me one thing. I would never beg again. I can't let this control me anymore, I said quietly, mostly to myself. I won't be the man who waits for her to decide if I'm worth it. Ryan nodded, sensing the shift in me. That's good, man. You needed to say it. I will be careful, I whispered, more determined than angry. I'll care, but not like before. Not blindly. Not as a fallback. I felt the first flicker of relief, tiny but real. The pain was still there, sharp and insistent, but now it fueled me differently. I could survive this. I could rebuild. I could love, again, but on my terms. For the first time in weeks, I felt a quiet resolve settle in my chest. I would protect my heart. I would value myself. I would never beg for someone's choice again. And maybe, just maybe, that was the start of something stronger than love. The first time I saw her after everything, I froze. She was standing outside the cafe, hands in her coat pockets, hair messy, eyes unsure. "Ethan," she said softly, almost a whisper. I nodded, not moving closer. "Hi." I messed up," she started, hesitating. "Mark, he left. He wasn't right for me." I held up a hand. "Stop." She blinked. "What?" "Stop explaining." I felt the old urge to reach for her, to forgive, to reassure. But I didn't. Not this time. "I'm listening, but I'm not begging. I'm not here to fix things for you." Her lips parted. "Ethan, please, can we talk? I need you." I remained silent. My chest was tight, but my resolve held. Silence became my shield. "You don't understand," she said, frustration creeping into her voice. I need you." "I heard you," I said calmly. "I also hear that you need someone who isn't me, not fully." Her eyes widened. "That's not true." I shook my head. "You always pick options over clarity. I won't be one anymore. You don't get to pull me back with half measures." She stepped closer. "But I love you, Ethan." You don't get to say that and expect me to respond the way I did before." Her shoulders slumped. "You've changed. You're cold." "I'm not cold. I'm aware. I'm careful now. I won't be anyone's backup, Lena. You've done enough with my patience." Her voice softened. "I didn't know what I had. I only see it now. Please, don't shut me out." I let the pause linger. Let the silence press. She shifted uncomfortably, realizing the tables had turned. I wasn't reaching. I wasn't pleading. I wasn't there to validate her guilt. She started again, then stopped. Her hands trembled slightly. I studied her for a moment. The same girl who had always had my heart in her hands looked vulnerable now. But vulnerability isn't power. Power isn't granted, it's earned. "I'm busy, Lena," I said finally. "I've got work to focus on. My career isn't a waiting room for people who decide whether or not I matter." Her eyes narrowed. "You've changed. What happened to the Ethan I knew?" "I grew up," I said. "I'm still me, just wiser, stronger. I won't bend for anyone who treats me as an option." She swallowed hard. "You don't understand." You're right. I don't. And I don't need to. I know enough to protect myself now." She looked like she wanted to argue, to push, to pull me back emotionally, but she didn't. Not completely. The calm in me unsettled her more than anger ever could. I just thought you'd respond differently," she said finally, almost defeated. "Different." I echoed. "I used to respond with trust, forgiveness, patience. Now I respond with clarity. If that's different, I don't mind." Her lips pressed together. She looked away, clearly realizing she no longer controlled the script. I left the cafe then. No dramatic exit, no shouting, no begging for her to see reason. Just a calm step away from a life I had nearly given her completely. Over the next few weeks, I threw myself into work under Mr. Anderson's guidance. "Focus on results," he said once. "Success isn't given, it's earned. Don't let distractions compromise it." I took it to heart. Lena tried to reach me a few times, leaving messages and calls, but I responded with minimal words or none at all. The balance of power shifted subtly with each unanswered call, each measured response. Sophia noticed it too. "You're different, Ethan," she said one afternoon in the office. "Calm, but untouchable. You're finally thinking about yourself." I gave a small smile. "Yeah, it's time I do." She nodded knowingly. "Good for you. Don't let anyone." "I won't," I interrupted gently. "I've learned." Lena tried one more time that week. She showed up at my office, leaning against the doorway. "Ethan, please. Can we just talk?" I didn't invite her in. I didn't even meet her eyes fully. I'm busy. I have meetings. But I need you, she said, her voice cracking. I shook my head, calm, distant, unshaken. You needed me before, yes. But not like you needed to choose me. I won't give myself to someone who doesn't see me as their first choice. Her face fell. She seemed to realize something then, something she hadn't grasped before. My silence, my measured control, my refusal to chase her, made her doubt herself. She no longer had the power to pull me back emotionally. That realization was written across her face. Ethan, she started, but I held up a hand. Goodbye, Lena, I said softly. Take care of yourself. I turned back to my desk, to my work, to my life. For the first time in months, I felt a sense of ownership over my own heart. I wasn't bitter. I wasn't cruel. I was simply aware, focused, and strong. Work was my refuge. My morning started with purpose, not dread. Ethan, congratulations, Mr. Anderson said one afternoon, handing me a promotion letter. You earned this. Focus, consistency, discipline, that's what matters. Thank you, sir, I said, swallowing the pride that was quietly blooming inside me. Sophia peeked over her cubicle. You're glowing, Ethan. Seriously, it's like someone flipped a switch. I'm just focused, I replied, a small smirk tugging at my lips. You're more than focused. You're untouchable now. Good for you. I chuckled softly. Thanks. Even in the office, her shadow lingered in my thoughts, but differently now. Not pain, not longing, just a reminder that I had survived. My phone buzzed. A message from Emily, Lena's sister. Hey, I don't know if you want to hear this, but Lena, she's not happy. She regrets some choices. I stared at it, thumb hovering over the screen. I didn't reply. Silence was my shield. The next day, Daniel approached me at the office, smirking. So, Lena's in trouble, huh? Maybe you should step in. You know, old feelings and all. I raised an eyebrow. Thanks for the suggestion, Daniel. But I'm not interested in old problems. You could make her life easier, he pressed. I'm busy making my life better, I said, my voice calm but firm. He shrugged, clearly frustrated that I wasn't tempted. Suit yourself. Days passed, and Lena's life started to unravel publicly. Mark's temper flared, small arguments turned into big ones. I heard about them through mutual contacts, but I didn't respond. I didn't need to. One evening, Ryan called. She's spiraling, man. You hearing about it? I know, I said quietly. I'm glad we are past all that. You're sure? You don't look pleased. I laughed softly. I'm not rejoicing. I'm focused on me. That's the difference. You've changed, he said. Completely. And for the better. I felt it too. Confidence. Control. Emotional stability I hadn't known I was capable of. At lunch, Sophia joined me. Ethan, I noticed something. You're not reacting to the chaos around you. You're calm. Collected. Even Lena, she can't touch you anymore. She doesn't control me, I said simply. And I don't want her to. But the fact she tries. Sophia said. That's power, Ethan. She still cares, or at least, she thinks she does. I shrugged, sipping my coffee. I used to care about being noticed by her. Now I care about seeing my own progress. Emily's messages continued. She asked about you yesterday. She sounded unsure. I didn't reply. The temptation to respond was there, but the lesson I learned was stronger than curiosity. Silence was my way forward. At the office, Daniel tried again. Ethan, you really think ignoring her will make her regret things? You could show her. I don't need to show her anything, I said, straightening in my chair. She'll see. Naturally. Life has a way of balancing itself. He scowled. You're cold, man. Cold and smart. I'm just aware, I said, not bothering to elaborate. Back home, I found myself reflecting on the past months. Every late-night call, every whispered apology, every time she leaned on me, it had all shaped me. But now, The pain had turned into something else, clarity. I had rebuilt myself emotionally, and no one, not Lena, not Mark, not Daniel, could shake that. I remembered the moments Emily hinted at, Lena asking questions about me, testing the waters. But I didn't respond. I let her wonder. Let her feel the absence she had once taken for granted. "You're doing well, Ethan," Ryan said one evening when we met for coffee. "I mean it. You're thriving. And she's noticing. Probably more than you realize." "I know," I admitted. "But I'm not reacting. Not emotionally. That's the point." "You're beyond all that," he said, grinning. "I think she's realizing she doesn't hold the strings anymore." I nodded. That was exactly how it felt. The subtle shift, the power I never had before, was mine now. I wasn't waiting for her. I wasn't begging for her attention. I was living my life, thriving in ways she couldn't control. Late one night, I saw her across a cafe window. She wasn't with Mark, just standing alone. She looked lost, regret written across her face, silent and heavy. I didn't approach. I didn't even think about going in. I just watched. And for the first time, the knowledge that she couldn't pull me back gave me satisfaction. Not cruelty, just calm. I had rebuilt myself, piece by piece, ignoring distractions, focusing on growth. And she had no power over it. She couldn't undo what I had done for myself. That night, I sent no messages. I made no calls. I simply sat back, letting the moment settle. Karma, I realized, didn't need interference. It unfolded naturally, like the gentle but inevitable turning of tides. And as I looked at her from a distance, I knew one thing with certainty. I was no longer the man who would wait for her to choose me. I was beyond needing approval, beyond longing, beyond the chaos of her choices. The distance between us was no longer empty. It was mine. The knock on my apartment door startled me. I wasn't expecting anyone. Not her. "Ethan, can we talk?" Her voice trembled. I didn't answer right away. I let the silence stretch. "Please. I need to explain," she said, softer now. Fragile. Broken. I opened the door slowly, letting her see me without a word. She stepped inside, eyes cast downward, hands fidgeting. I owe you everything," she started, voice shaking. "I used you. I leaned on you when I was lonely, when Mark wasn't enough. I treated you like a safety net. I held up a hand, calm. Stop there." She looked up, startled. "Stop? Ethan, I'm sorry. I heard enough," I said quietly. "I don't need apologies." Her shoulders slumped, and she blinked back tears. "But, you should. You should know how sorry I am. I never realized how much I hurt you." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't accuse. I simply looked at her. The quiet between us weighed heavier than any yelling ever could. "I loved you, Lena," I said softly, without conditions, without thinking about myself. "And I was used. That's the truth I've carried for months." She shook her head, tears spilling freely now. I didn't know. I thought I was protecting myself. I didn't think." "You thought," I interrupted gently. "You thought about you, not us. You thought about security, not love. And that's why you lost me." She flinched at the words, but I kept my voice steady. Calm. Controlled. "I'm not here to hurt you further," I continued. "I'm not here to make you feel smaller. I'm here to make you see, loving me taught me something you never could." She blinked, confused. "What do you mean?" "I learned self-respect," I said. "I learned that my heart isn't a toy, that my love isn't meant to patch holes or fill voids. I learned that I deserve someone who chooses me fully, without hesitation." She sank onto the couch, shaking. I see it now. I can't believe You don't need to say it," I said. "You don't get to fix the past with words. My respect for myself isn't yours to reclaim." Her hands covered her face. I don't know how to face you." "You don't have to face me in the way you hope," I said softly. "Indifference can be more powerful than rage. More than anger or shouting. Loving you taught me that." She looked at me then, truly looked, and I could see it in her eyes, shock, regret, and pain. I wanted you to fight for me, she whispered. I wanted you to beg, to show that you still cared. But, you're calm. You're untouchable now. I nodded slightly. I'm calm because I've grown. Because I'm no longer yours to manipulate, no longer waiting for approval. The biggest revenge, Lena, is living well without you needing me. She started to cry softly, almost silently. I never realized how much I used you, how much I depended on you, without ever giving back. And now I see you're gone. I see that I lost you. You lost yourself in me, I said gently. You thought you could lean without consequence. You thought you could take without understanding what it meant to give. And that's why you're learning too late. I don't know how to make it right, she whispered, voice breaking. I didn't mean for this to happen. I shook my head softly. It's not about righting wrongs with words. It's about understanding that some things can't be fixed. My self-respect, my peace, they aren't yours to reclaim. You should feel regret, but you won't make me hurt anymore. Her shoulders shook. I lost you, Ethan. This is my biggest mistake. Losing you. I didn't respond, only watched her crumble, silent and calm. I could see it in her face, the truth she'd avoided for months. She had underestimated the cost of using me. She had thought my heart was infinite, my forgiveness unconditional. But it wasn't. You'll move on, she said, voice small, barely audible. And I'll have to live with this. Losing you. I can't fix it. No, I said quietly. You can't. That's the difference between us now. I've built something that isn't dependent on anyone else. My peace isn't yours to take. And my heart is mine first. She wiped her face, trembling. I understand. I really do. I nodded once, calmly. Good. Then take that lesson. Learn from it. Regret is yours now. My life continues. She looked down, whispering, almost to herself, losing you was my biggest mistake. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. My indifference, my calm, my refusal to beg or fight, that was enough. She left eventually, quietly, stepping out into the night. The door closed softly behind her, and I let it echo in the empty apartment. For the first time in months, I felt nothing but clarity. No anger, no longing, no pain. Just calm, just awareness, just ownership of my heart. The revenge wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was simply living well, unshaken, unmanipulated. And that was more powerful than anything I could have done with words or actions. I walked to the window, looked out at the city lights, and felt the first real peace I had in a long time. I had survived loving her. I had survived being used. I heard the news through mutual friends before Lena even called. Mark had left. Permanently. No second chances, no excuses. Ryan was the first to notice my reaction. So, she's finally alone, he said, leaning against the office doorway. I shrugged. Calm. Good for her. I don't care about the chaos anymore. You don't? He asked, eyebrows raised. No, I said, sipping my coffee. Not about her misery, not about Mark, not about any of it. That chapter's closed. You're different now, he said, shaking his head. I mean, I've seen you move on, but this? You're untouchable. I smiled faintly. I guess pain did its job. It reshaped me, didn't destroy me. Sophia came over then, carrying a stack of reports. Ethan, you okay? You've been calm all day. I am, I said. Really? I just learned something important. And what's that? She asked, curious. That revenge is never necessary. Growth is enough. Her eyes softened. You really mean it. Not just saying it. I nodded. Completely. I've seen how her world collapsed, how Mark's leaving affected her. And I feel nothing. Not satisfaction, not gloating. Only closure. She smiled quietly. That's impressive. Most people would want her to regret it. You don't. No, I said. She'll learn her lessons in her own time. I don't need to force them. I just need to live my life. Ryan came back, smirking. And you are. I see it. Promotions, confidence, you're thriving. I am, I admitted, letting the satisfaction settle in quietly. I've rebuilt myself. I've taken control of my life. That's the real victory, Ryan. Not seeing her suffer. Not proving a point. Just me, moving forward. Sophia lingered nearby, glancing at me with something like admiration. You've changed, Ethan. And I'm glad you did. You're approachable now, not weighed down by her mistakes. I chuckled softly. It's not about being approachable. It's about being aware, being careful with my heart. And I am. Later that evening, I walked past the cafe where we had first met. Through the glass, I saw Lena sitting alone, scrolling aimlessly on her phone. Her expression was distant, sad, regretful. I didn't approach. I didn't want to. I just paused and watched. Not with pleasure, not with triumph, simply as someone observing a chapter that had closed. She's noticing you're okay, Ryan said later when we met for coffee. I know, I said quietly. And that's fine. I don't need her to see me happy. I just am. You're untouchable, he repeated, grinning. Completely. She can't manipulate you anymore. That's power, man. I nodded. Power comes from understanding yourself. From knowing what you'll accept and what you won't. That's all I needed. Sophia joined us then, sitting across from me. You're calm, Ethan, but there's a presence about you now. People notice it, respect it. And not just in work. In life. I've earned it, I said softly. Through pain, through reflection, through living carefully. I won't let anyone take that away. Ryan laughed. And yet, it's subtle. She'll see it, Lena, and it'll eat at her. But you won without lifting a finger. Exactly, I said. I didn't need to interfere. Karma unfolded naturally. Her choices, her mistakes, they were enough to show the consequences. I didn't have to act. I only had to live. Sophia watched me, eyes thoughtful. It's rare. Most people get consumed by revenge. You didn't. I shook my head. Revenge would have been a shortcut. Temporary satisfaction. Growth lasts. That's the difference. That night, I walked home and saw her again, across the street. She paused as our eyes met, and I noticed it immediately. Her regret, her understanding that she no longer had power over me. I smiled faintly, calmly. She looked away quickly, unable to face me fully. And I didn't call her back. I didn't reach out. I simply continued walking, confident, complete in myself. Sophia texted me later. You're glowing. Truly. It's like you're whole now. I replied with a simple, I am. No more doubts. No more longing. No more waiting. I had won, not by hurting anyone, not by forcing anyone to feel, but by building myself into someone she couldn't touch, no matter how much she wished. Ryan called that night. She's watching you from afar. She doesn't understand how you did it, but she sees the result. I know, I said, leaning back in my chair. And that's enough. I don't need her acknowledgement. I don't need anyone's. I have myself, and that's my victory. The city lights reflected off my window, and for the first time in a long while, I felt no emptiness. Only peace. Only clarity. Only the quiet strength of someone who had loved deeply, suffered, grown, and survived. And Lena. She could watch. She could regret. She could see me happy without her. But I didn't need her to understand. I had already understood myself. My phone buzzed one evening. A message from Lena. I stared at it, thumb hovering. Ethan. I know I don't deserve this, but can we talk? Please. I didn't reply. Not immediately. Not ever. Ryan noticed my hesitation. You're not going to answer, are you? I'm not, I said quietly. Some lessons aren't meant to be erased with a conversation. He nodded, understanding. You've changed, Completely. You could have responded before, but now, it wouldn't matter. No, I agreed. It wouldn't. I learned my value the hard way. Being someone's backup taught me what I deserve. Sophia peeked into my office later. She's still trying. Ignore her, I said softly. I have my life to focus on. My growth isn't tied to her anymore. Emily's message earlier had confirmed it. Lena regretted everything, but my peace wasn't something she could reclaim. That clarity settled over me like a warm light. At home, I found myself scrolling through old memories, messages, photos, notes. Everyone reminded me of the love I gave freely, the patience I had, the trust one offered without hesitation. I paused at a photo of us together, laughing at some long-forgotten cafe. My thumb hovered over the delete button. You're really going to do it? Ryan asked over the phone. Yes, I said calmly. It's symbolic. I'm not erasing memories, I'm closing the chapter. The photo vanished. Just like that, a weight lifted. It wasn't anger, or bitterness, or revenge, it was freedom. I remembered her words from months ago, the ones she thought would manipulate me. I don't know how to live without you. Back then, I might have panicked. Back then, I might have begged. But not now. Now I knew my worth. Now I knew that love wasn't about being needed. It was about being chosen. The phone buzzed again. Another message. Ethan. Please. I see now. I'm sorry. Can we? I didn't finish reading. I didn't need to. The message went unread, unopened, and that small act gave me more satisfaction than any confrontation ever could. I leaned back in my chair, sipping coffee, feeling the quiet strength of someone who had outgrown dependency. I realized that the real victory wasn't making her regret me. It was realizing I never needed her approval to feel complete. Ryan called again. You're calm, man. Like, untouchable. She can't pull you back, can't manipulate you. And she knows it. I smiled softly. I'm not trying to be untouchable. I'm just myself. And that's enough. Sophia stopped by in the evening, carrying a notebook. You've grown so much, Ethan. I mean it. You're different. Stronger. More you. Thanks, I said. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. Losing her, letting go, it taught me what I really deserve. She nodded, understanding. And it's inspiring. Most people would crumble or cling. You didn't. I chose myself, I said simply. That's the difference. Later, I deleted a string of old messages she had sent, the ones where I had comforted her, reassured her, fixed her doubts. I didn't delete them in anger. I deleted them in calm. In power. In closure. Emily texted. She's still trying, but, you're untouchable now. She knows it. I replied with one word. Free. It was true. Free from expectations, free from manipulation, free from someone else's choices dictating my worth. I thought back to every time I had questioned myself. Every time I had wondered if I was enough. Every sleepless night. Every pang of longing. All of it had led me here. To this quiet, unshakable place of self-respect. I walked to my window, looking at the city lights. The streets glimmered, alive with people going about their lives. Some happy, some lonely, some learning their lessons. And I realized, my lesson had already been learned, and my chapter had closed. No calls. No texts. No explanations. Just life, moving forward. And then I thought about her. Lena. Once the center of my world, now a shadow in my past. I didn't need to think about what she was feeling, what she was doing. Her regret, her longing, her understanding of loss. It was hers. And I didn't touch it. I didn't chase it. Because I had become more than a reaction to her choices. I had become someone who understood their own worth. Ryan texted later that night. You're glowing, Ethan. She'll never understand how powerful you are now. I smiled. I know. I put my phone down, feeling the finality of it. The relief. The calm. The quiet dominance of someone who had loved, been used, suffered, and risen above it all. I thought about every time I had been patient, every moment I had given her my heart, every time I had stayed silent when I could have exploded. It had led me here. To freedom. To peace. to knowing that love wasn't about proving a point, it was about self-respect. I looked at the space on my wall where we had taken that last picture together, the one before everything fell apart. I didn't remove it. It wasn't about erasing history, but I didn't look at it either. It was there, but it no longer held power over me. I had outgrown her. I hadn't destroyed her. I had evolved. I hadn't sought revenge. I had chosen growth. And that was the ultimate victory. I closed my eyes, letting the weight lift fully, letting the calm settle. She had used me as a backup, but losing me became her lifelong regret. And me. I stepped into the next chapter of my life stronger,